This is another one in the audio world.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Shields are there to protect from picking up random noise. So the last thing in the world you want is a bunch of exposed shields wrapped around randomly and all touching the side of the rack. Now, yes, the shield, the foil shield has a plastic outer coat that's supposed to keep it from touching things, but this is the kind of garbage that we run into. And you go to the contractor and you say, why would you even think this is acceptable? Do it over. This is another favorite thing. We come into places and we say, so we're going to be looking at your rigging system today and just looking to see if there's any problems. Nope, never had any accidents. Yeah, the steel always bends like this for no apparent reason. It just gets that way by itself. Same thing here. Ever had any problems? Nah. So why is all of this bent? And why are these over-tensioned? And why is this frayed? So, we come in and we talk to people. These systems typically are all getting replaced. We're coming in to look at them because people who had kind of a clue started getting concerned when they looked up at some of this stuff. This is another one, just random cables behind an audio front of house position and not even trying to clean it up. Not even trying. This is another one that comes up a lot. We have structural engineers who give us ratings for floors. Why is the floor sinking? Math, yeah, okay. The amount of weight that's loaded here, when you start looking at each one of these 28-pound plates stacked vertically and all around here, we've actually seen stages where the floor is pulling away from the wall and sinking into the ground, or if it's an elevated one, bending all the steel and potentially collapsing a building. Back in the day, people used to do all sorts of things with wire rope, but wire rope is never supposed to be bent this tightly through anything, and there's supposed to be a thimble or something on here, so this is definitely not acceptable. And these older systems, there's a lot of them out there that look like this. You just hope that nothing decides to let go. Safety first. Another example of, electrical code. What's the point? This is another one where you look at these systems and the way they're installed and you're like, what were you thinking? Everything in here is wrong. That's why you don't let ferrets install your systems.
Why are you the way that you are?
This one I really enjoyed. So you think about, how did this happen? This is hanging something below. I don't remember what. But it's like you need a bolt and you're on site. And you don't have a bolt. But you got one of these jaw-eye turnbuckles. Well, I suppose if I put this end up through here and put this down here, I don't have a nut to lock it off here, so it's not really tight. It's just hanging with gravity. And as long as what's down below doesn't move, maybe there will never be any tension here that would make this thing want to break. But this is just one of those. It's like, was this creative or lazy? Got no idea. Another one, and we see way too much of this, besides the fact that the chains and lots of other things are a little sketchy. But the fact that it slams into the sheave of the loft block as a way to stop it on its way up. And you notice it's way off in terms of travel, so maybe it was just bad calculations, but things are not supposed to hit each other and grind like that.
That's what she said. Michael.
So another one where you look at an arbor where all these weights could fall out onto an operator. They obviously didn't put the stops in they're supposed to have. Now there's plates there and there should be a stop up here somewhere. But obviously they decided this was the way to secure it. It's one way. So this is another one where you got chain and you got a thimble and wire rope and it should be terminated at both ends. But somehow they ran out of something. So to level something out, they shackle, and a quick link, which is not for overhead lifting. These devices, if you ever see them, are not to be used overhead. These are things for temporary use, like you're out in your backyard doing something. These are really not designed for permanent overhead lifting on a stage. Should never be there, and we won't even talk about all the other things that are wrong in this picture, but that's the biggest one. This is another one that we found fascinating. Hanging below this are a bunch of loudspeakers. So they had all this chain, And it's not really necessarily even the right kind of chain. We won't even get into that a whole lot. But they just decided that they would wrap all the loose chain around everything they could find. So there's truss and truss and truss. And it's like, why didn't you just put some steel between these two trusses, hang this from the middle instead of all of this crazy bridling? And then what was below the ceiling, I don't have that photograph here, was all wrong as well. So anyway, these are just a few of the things we found out in the field. We've got a lot more. So this is just one video in a series of videos on our Wall of Shame, which has been proven to be the most popular part of our website because, as is found in national news, people like bad news. So this is the bad news, and it's just some of the stuff we found out in the field doing our work.